All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time now to review top stories on Nigeria newspapers, and I begin with the Daily Times. 2023 election. Army must remain neutral, Buhari says May 29 handover sacrosanct. Army must remain neutral, Buhari 2020 says May 29 handover sacrosanct. You have details on the front page of the Daily Times. We'll move now to the front page of the Leadership newspaper. December the 31st deadline, security forces have 25 days to rout bandits, terrorists. December the 31st deadline, security forces have 25 days to rout bandits, terrorists. All right, on the front page of the Daily Trust, Tinubu takes campaign to UK. Atiku woos Lagos voters. How I'll tackle insecurity, energy crisis, ex-Lagos governor. Records of my background, age, education, consistent. All right, on the front page of the blueprints now. At Chatham House, Tinubu speaks on family background, submits self for DNA test. At Chatham House, Tinubu speaks on family background, submits self for DNA testing. Kemi.
Right, the Nation is next, still on the Chatham show of the APC presidential candidates. Tinubu points way forward on power, security, and other sectors. We check out Business Day. Tinubu distances himself from weak economy under President Buhari. That's on the front page of Business Day. To First News now, it's leading still with the Tinubu showing in London on Monday. And of course, counting down to the forthcoming general election. I'm confident Nigerians will vote for me. I am ready to lead, says Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Still talking the papers now. News Direct, Nigeria energy crisis. That's the lead story there. News Direct says FG vows attainment of OPEC's 1.8 million barrels per day quota before the exit of the Buhari presidency, as downstream crisis sparks labor reactions. And finally is the Punch, leading with a focus on the Naira, saying depreciation adds 9 trillion Naira to foreign debt burden. Naira depreciation adds 9 trillion Naira to foreign debt burden. The big story there on the Punch.
All right, so we're still talking about the APC presidential candidate at the Chatham House. There he showed or spoke about his commitment to lead Nigerians, and he also spoke about how he is confident in the sanctity of the electoral process, talking about INEC and the use of beavers, electronic voting, and all of that, which has been a subject of controversy in recent days because there were times where reports came that it seems some political parties were putting pressure, mounting pressure on INEC not to use the beavers, IREV, and all of that. But then he came to clear the air that, he is confident that INEC will be able to deliver, and that he is also confident in the transparency and all of the elections.
And the sanctity of the ballot box.
Yes.
Yeah, he said so. This is happening in the context, and he alluded to it, of the attacks on INEC offices.
Yes.
We saw the almost simultaneous ones in Ogun and Oshun.
And then Imo.
We saw the one in Imo. We saw the one in
Ebonyi.
And those were reflections of some of the stresses in our electoral system. But there are supposed to be pangs that we need to deal with as we grow. The pain of adulthood. There's no problem about that. What is important is that there's focus on it, and that's what he's saying, that we have no choice but to be a democracy in this country. Though we're living in a world in which democracy is under threat, whether it's in the United States, where Donald Trump said that they should terminate the Constitution, or in Russia, where the man is stepping down on other people's democracies, whether it's Orban in Hungary, and in a number of places around the world where democracy is under threat. But democracy is the way of the future. There is no way that we can go back to oligarchy or to any form of individual tyranny. So that's the point is us making. We've had our own experience with military. We know what damage it did to our psyche, to our economy, to our way of life, to our sense of unity. And he's saying that democracy is now our DNA.
He spoke about his commitment or lifetime dedication to Nigeria and why he believes Nigerians will vote him.
Absolutely. And well, still on the issue of INEC's preparation, the attacks on INEC offices, well, I also agree that you could see the focus on or by the Asiwaju camp. Of course, they are not refusing to be derailed or to be distracted at this time. It also, goes without saying that the INEC chairman has also spoken about, these challenges, and of course, he has also reiterated that the agency is still pursuing on its course to ensure that the elections are free, fair, and credible. And of course, Asiwaju's point about his support, him being all out for, a credible democracy goes without saying, because we know the place of Nigeria, we know the place Nigeria should be in the West African region, and even, globally, hence the platform he chose now to go and sell his mandates to the foreigners. So it's very important that we get it right. This time around, history is going to judge us, hopefully right. And of course, the issue of the lifelong ambition of Asiwaju, to lead. Of course, it's his right. It's his freedom.
His constitutional
absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. And of course, he has expressed his readiness. He has expressed that yes, he's strong enough, and he has expressed that he will not be doing it alone. He has harped on his team. He's confident, and of course the party is taking it. It has gone beyond Asiwaju. It's obviously a party agenda, even though he is the flag bearer. But this is something that the party is sold out and entirely. Even the exiting Buhari administration.
Right.
Of course, the issue of food security. All the other subsectors, crucial issues for Nigerians. He has also spoken about it and given women and youth a place in his administration. These are also topical issues.
Speaking about women, we spoke with Betta Edu the other day, where she spoke about the aspect of the 35% affirmation, which the APC presidential candidate has committed to, and that perhaps we might even see more than that, and that we know his antecedents with regards to how he has brought in women when it comes to governance and all of it, and that we would see more of that.
Yes, and that issue of inclusiveness of women has become part of Nigerian political dialogue, and we need to see more of that. But we need to see also at the grassroots level a great more involvement of women in Nigerian politics. They are mothers, they are wives, they are sisters, they are daughters, and they probably are even more powerful in the lives of men than men think. And so we should not take that for granted. Chinweze wrote a book the other day that was controversial. I'm not sure you people knew about that book. It was controversial. It was a source of a debate titled "The Anatomy of Female Power," and it caused quite a storm in the country at that time, which was saying that don't underrate women, and women are very powerful, and so on. So we need to leverage that for our politics and use some of their intuition, their sense of domestic genius, their
ability to nurture.
Ability to nurture. So sometimes nurture can become torture, but
absolutely. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. But even at that,
I said it can be.
It can be, but then there would have been something to bring that out.
Absolutely.
There's a place in the Bible that says that the only way you can fight a woman is to use another woman.
All right.
Not a man.
But this is a vital point, especially in this period of the 16 days of activism. It's rather sad for me that some narratives we're still pushing some narratives. We are still having, many women being disadvantaged, being abused, and this is something that there had been a relentless campaign against, this menace and empowerment of women.
Thing.
Absolutely.
You don't go through the papers any day without stories of rape, of abuse, of torture of women in Nigerian society. It is a very painful thing. The Nation newspaper had to use it as the torture, the story of the year, a few years ago. And it has not really tamped down. It has not tamped down. It's one of the,
there's been several.
So we need more of women participation in politics, so they can push a lot of this female agenda. The former First Lady of Ekiti was front and center in pushing some of these issues. But one of the most important issues about women empowerment is women themselves.
Sure.
That women should be able to assert their own position in society, and because there are always strictures of convention, custom, and
limiting.
Yes. They call it. I think they say the three P's. Is it the three P's of feminism? I've forgotten it now. You have patriarchy, you have property, and you have politics. These are three P's of
working
of
that they have to
patriarchy,
surmount.
You have to surmount the politics, you have to surmount patriarchy, and then the issue of property. Those are the three P's of which people like Betty Friedan and a few of the women even quoting the classic of Rousseau on the issue of inequality. His book on the crisis of inequality. To make the point about the fact that the issue of women is not just as simple as saying, okay, one woman to have 35%.
Yes.
To get the 35% may be tokenism if you don't have an essential overhaul of the gender relations in the country. And that is what we need. And you need that by educating women. Women should understand their rights. And we don't want the situation that happened and there were protests in Europe in those days and in the Americas when it became women started, throwing their bras in the public and trying to show
rage,
that. But that rage started something.
We have something similar.
But we have had something.
Yes,
we have something about women riots.
26,
is it only that?
26, absolutely.
Well, that women did that recently in the Niger Delta.
Even
when
in
they
the
were
north,
protesting it.
we had Kaduna women too. Yeah.
I won't mention him now. It was like an uncle to me who said, look, my daughter doesn't know anything about politics. He said, why? She should go there, because his daughter was in politics. She should go there. When the women were protesting, she should have joined them. If she cannot join them, at least she should have pressed. That's what he said. So he was making the point. Go and make your point. Go and make your point. Yes.
Join your solidarity.
Yes. Man is dead now, but it's so rest in peace. But this was the kind of thing he's saying is that if you don't shake the system will keep you down.
Right. Yes. But there's been several attempts to shake the system in Nigeria with regards to women, but it seems we are not making inroad as much as we should have over the years, and there are still some roadblocks we need to surmount.
We don't have the Margaret Ekpos today. We don't have the Funmilayo Ransome Kuti.
Right.
You always need heroes to
champion a cause like that.
Yes, very rude and disruptive human beings. People that you don't like, but you can't ignore. Those are the people who change things. Not nice people. Not people, and they have to get a lot of opposition. They have to get people to really say nasty things about them, just as they say about Tinubu today. You get hit and then you get up and as the ballad
Dust yourself and move on.
the ballad of St. Andrew said, I'm struck and wounded. I lay me down and rest a while, but I rise and fight
Still
again.
you rise.
Now, speaking about, we recall the protest at the front of the Chatham House, because you just mentioned something.
Yes, some people
pro
and cons.
Yes, just protesting and making their chants
Well,
at the front of the Chatham House.
It's all in the good spirit of democracy. Everybody has a right to protest and everybody has a right to support.
Right.
So everybody has let a thousand flowers bloom.
And of course, not minding the narratives that people were also championing. A particular article was reading, the Tinubu campaign group, disgraced. That appeared to be the narrative.
That's tendentious reporting.
And then, of course, there was no mention about the pro group. So, we still live in times where, this period, despite the clarion call that we should, state the facts, simple and not
Focus on issues.
and not twist it, to suit selfish agenda. Of course, there will be that. But then, of course, the principle of freedom, of people who have a right of gathering and all that, that's to be expected. And of course, it's in London anyway, so that's to be expected. But of course, the campaign train keeps moving.
Of course, it will continue to move.
There was a statement by Kemi in those days when he was NRC chairman, National Republican Convention during the Babangida time. Said the train is about to move. You better join in or you are going to be crushed along the way. So the train is moving. It doesn't care whether they are protesting. In fact, they are protesting. Mao Zedong said, the fact that my critics are always happy to criticize me, it shows that I'm doing my job. Who is more criticized today than Asiwaju? It is because they are afraid of him. Why don't they go to Atiku or the obedient people, they are always the ones afraid of Asiwaju. The Atiku people are even more vanilla, but they are the ones more afraid of.
They have their campaign.
I like that description. Being even more vanilla.
Yes.
And speaking of the PDP presidential candidate, there was a campaign in Lagos. And the picture that was circulating on social media, raised a lot of conversation in different quarters.
Yes.
Where you see the number of persons, a lot of people were asking, is this really a campaign? What is even?
It's like looking at a fair-skinned person with freckles, where you have dot, there's only a little place, there's a bunch together, and that's what I saw about the campaign. I mean, it's a reflection of the alienation in the PDP at the center right now, because when you have 5-6 governors who are not with you, and you come to Lagos, you don't have Bode George with you in Lagos. Why are you going to mobilize Lagos?
Up until this point, because we're counting weeks now until the general election, and we still have the Wike angle now, still intensive on their mandate. Even with Yakubu Dogara, we saw him. We also, saw that he had, officially moved to the Atiku side. Of course, that still didn't stop Governor Wike from talking, and of course, though he got reactions, of course, from Dogara as well, but that says a lot about George right in his state.
Dogara is going back to his own vomit.